Welcome to the Mentis Podcast. I'm frequently asked about which books I read, whether personal or business. So today we're going to go over some of my favorites and some of the honorable mentions, mainly relating to the business field, so that you have something to read over the holidays. From the beginning, I think the book that stands out as one that impacted my career the most is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It establishes the basics of the real estate investment industry, and it's really good for anybody who wants to get started. It's also one of the most successful selling books of all time in the financial space, and it's very easy to read for anybody who's new to the financial world. American Icon is a great story of the CEO, Alan Mulally, and how he moved to Ford during the 2008 downturn, and he actually ended up saving the company and was able to navigate Ford through the big downturn of 2008 without taking a government loan, and he was the only American company to do that. I'd say Am I Being Too Subtle is certainly one of my favorite real estate investment books. It's a biography by Sam Zell, who's one of the titans of the industry, and he talks about completing one of the largest real estate transactions in history, as well as many other lessons learned along the way. He certainly cuts right to the point and is one of the most fascinating business people in the world today. Building an Elite Organization, one of my favorite books recently. It's really a no-fluff book that kind of combines some of the best strategies from all of the other self-help or business books in circulation today, and he kind of brings the best of all of those together into one book where you can quickly use it as a tool to help build your organization, your club, or the company that you work with. Principles for Dealing with the Changing World Order is a recent release by Carl Icahn, and you can watch a video on the Cliff Notes. Actually, he released a video as well. It's about 45 minutes. It's a good read and video on the macroeconomics of how the world is changing, and he uses a lot of history to explain where we've been and gives some predictions for where we might be going in the future. What It Takes is a book on the Blackstone beginnings and how Stephen Schwarzman grew that company from very humble beginnings to one of the largest investment companies in the world today, and is certainly a fascinating read. Raising the Bar is a great real estate development book about Gerald Hines and his start as he built one of the larger development companies internationally in the world today. One neat item that was in the book was how his wife wanted to move all around the world, and throughout his career he was living in multiple different cities, and he brought a global perspective to his book that I hadn't seen in a lot of others. Atlas Shrugged is a great book if you want to have debates with your friends and family. It's a very, very long book, but it's best if you read it quickly, and that way you can tie in points earlier in the book to the ones that she's making at the end. It certainly will get you thinking. I highly recommend it to anybody who's starting out in business or who wants to have a riveting conversation with politics these days. But it's written as a story, and it's a great way to kind of debate the happenings of the political world these days. Risk Only Money is also one of my favorite real estate investment books, and this one's focused mainly on hotels and making sure that your business investments don't impact the personal relationships that you have. Mainly keeping your integrity. The author talks about how even during the hard times when the company had to significantly scale back in size, he made sure that everybody who worked with him along the way was made whole, so that when he was growing his company up again, he was able to quickly pick back up where he left off, and that was because his relationships were still intact. So those are my top 10 favorite books at the moment, but some honorable mentions that I couldn't leave off the list here include Blue Ocean Strategy. It's a great book for anybody who's looking to start a new company. Traction, a great book for anybody who's in business, working, applying new strategies to the work environment to make it more productive and kind of enhance the organization that you're with. The Everything Store is a great book about how Amazon was started, and while some people love or hate the richest people in the world, certainly their stories shouldn't be ignored, and that's why I would also recommend Titan, which is the story of John D. Rockefeller and how he started the Standard Oil Company, and at one point had over 90% of the U.S. Oil production underneath his companies. In the same vein, I would also recommend reading Elon Musk's book. It covers how he moved from South Africa to the United States and started several internet companies. The book was written several years ago, so it certainly is leaving out some of his most recent accomplishments, but these really global leaders, the individuals who reach the top of industries, certainly give some very interesting points, and their stories are extremely fascinating. So those are my top 26 favorite books at the moment, and contrary to popular belief, not everything I read is a self-improvement book. A lot of these are just great stories about individuals who have accomplished a tremendous amount over their lives, and in today's world, it's great that we have the ability to listen to an audiobook or pick up the hard copy and actually get to a peek behind the curtain of what these individuals have done with their lives, and we actually get to see how these individuals accomplish so much, and we can learn from everything that they've done. Happy holidays, thanks for listening, and enjoy your reading.